guys, I've just been hands-on with Jurassic World Evolution 3, and in this video you are gonna see all of the gameplay footage I have captured. Now, I was kindly invited by Frontier to play around about an hour and a half of this game, and I had just one aim: to record all of the new features heading to Jurassic World Evolution 3 and see if they are any good. So that includes things like the ridiculously cute baby dinosaurs, of which they are far more than just scaled down versions of adult dinosaurs. Some of the new rides, like the hot air balloon ride, which you can actually take a ride in yourself in first person, the full dinosaur roster, and more. And I have loads more footage to share beyond this, so if you want to see more of Jurassic World Evolution 3 you won't see anywhere else, subscribe to the channel. And let's crack on. Here are the most mind-blowing new features in Jurassic World Evolution 3. Okay, first off, baby dinosaurs. And this is maybe the biggest new feature in Jurassic World Evolution 3. You can see the juvenile Diplodocus here, which is really, really cute. And almost every new species in the game has new juvenile dinosaurs. That's barring a few special species that I will come to in a bit, but these juvenile dinosaurs, they are way more than just scaled down models of adult dinosaurs. So before I played this game, I thought, oh, maybe we'll just get adults that are slightly smaller, but you know, just for all intents and purposes, pretty much functionally the same, but they are not. They have their whole own entire behaviors that are completely different. So these Diplodocuses, they will just be running around playing while the adults are grazing, and you can see here that they're playing around the boats, one of the new boat tours, and I'm also going to discuss that in a bit, but they are making quite a nuisance of themselves in the water, and mum and dad are just, you know, paying them no attention. But it's not only that, there are new behavioral styles as well. So here we see the baby megalodons as well, and the different styles are: we can have timid juveniles, inquisitive juveniles, playful juveniles. So they might go over to different species as well and just interact with them, and you're just going to see a bunch more interactions thanks to these juveniles. There's also a whole breeding system that comes in JWE3, and that means you have to try and like breed all these different species together, and that is essentially a whole new system in this game. So you have to think about nest placements and cohabitation preferences, also the makeup of the herd, because different juveniles won't like being in certain herds, and in some different kinds of herds they'll thrive, so they're more likely to grow up. The adults will need to have their fertility cycles paid attention to because they breed at different times. So it just adds this whole new layer of challenge to your management. Also, another really cool thing that I like is you can actually pass down traits to juveniles. So let's say a Triceratops had an aggressive trait and you wanted to breed more aggressive Triceratops. You can put these two, find another Triceratops with the aggressive trait, put those two together, try and get them to breed, and then the baby will potentially be even more aggressive. Now, that probably doesn't work for a Triceratops, but if you wanted to create an aggressive T-Rex, then you could create the ideal apex predator by breeding two similar kind of parents together. And that goes for all traits like, you know, docileness or energy level, all that kind of stuff. And you can pass those genetics down to the juveniles. So that's really, really good. And also, juveniles actually can grow up and have different kind of functionalities. And I'll give you an example of that. Like one of the dinosaurs, and I'm going to completely butcher the name here. It's called Psittacosaurus. I think it's like that. But this, when it was a juvenile, it walked on all fours. And then when it grows up, it actually shifts to walking on two legs. So you're going to see these babies become adults and potentially completely change the way they move and the way they interact with the world. And I really like this because, you know, for me, something that was missing from Jurassic World Evolution, the past games, was that emotional attachment you get to the dinosaurs, because they never grow up. They just come out and then, you know, they're one size the entire time and one age practically. But you see these dinosaurs grow up and yeah, you get like kind of attached to them, and I can see myself really getting more emotionally invested into this game. But how does the aging process actually work? Because these babies are going to grow into adults, so are you going to see that in real time? Well, actually, I asked this to one of the developers who was nearby, and they actually told me something that you might find a bit disappointing. So unfortunately, there is no real-time aging in this game. Instead, I'm going to tell you what they said to me in a quote. So I asked this to one of the devs. I said, how do they grow from babies to adults? Is it very gradual, or is there a transformation just suddenly? And the dev said to me, quote, yeah, so it will be a transformation. That's not just a gradual growth process, but it's done quite smoothly. It's just we've not gone through the whole process of aging, end quote. So I said, for more clarification, I said, how does it go then? Do they disappear into a place and then come out and they're suddenly fully grown? And the dev said, no, we don't do that, but it is just a fade from one to the other. So yeah, again, to clarify that, yeah, you won't see them grow up like slowly in real time. There is sort of, I can imagine maybe like a loading screen, or just maybe even a puff of smoke, and you'll see the baby grow from a juvenile to an adult very, very quickly. But saying that, there is still kind of dinosaur ages. You can see when you click on a dinosaur how old they are and how many years they've got to grow to into adulthood. And that's obviously not going to be real time, because if a baby is going to take 7 years to be into an adult, it's not going to take 7 years of real time. But yeah, I can imagine maybe a few days of playtime, then it's going to grow into an adult. So that's kind of how that works. And just coming back to something I mentioned earlier, the dinosaurs that can't have any juveniles. There are a few, but these are all in one category, hybrid dinosaurs. So any hybrid dinosaur in the game cannot give birth. And this is actually canon, so it's not a limitation of the game. It's just reflecting the canon in Jurassic World. Yeah, hybrids can't breed, and hybrids are, there are actually 7 of them. These are the following: the Indominus Rex, the Indoraptor, the Scorpius Rex, the Spinoraptor, the Stegosauratops, the Spinosauratops, which is a herbivore, and the Ankylodochus, which is another herbivore. So those 7 hybrid dinosaurs, you will not see any juveniles from those. But the rest, all 75, I think there are over 75 dinosaurs in this game, they will all have little baby juveniles. Next up, we are talking about hot air balloon rides. And this was one of the things I really wanted to check out in my demo of Jurassic World Evolution 3. And here it is in all its glory. And there are a bunch of things you can interact with this and a bunch of things you can do to it. So one of the first things you have to notice is the detail of these things. So you can see how big they are, absolutely massive, and also all of the sound effects as well. So you can hear the flames, the jet of flames go as the gas goes into the hot air balloon and keeps it afloat. And also you can go in first person mode and see it from the rider's point of view. There aren't many riders that can fit in this, so it's quite a small ride, but an absolutely unique perspective you can get from up here. You can see everything across the whole park, including the inside of your own head at that point. But really, really detailed. They haven't just whacked this in. They've really gone the extra mile. Well, why would you want a hot air balloon in your game? Well, it gives you more chance for the riders to see dinosaurs. So on a ride, they might see 1 or 2 dinosaurs that's on the ground. But if you're in a hot air balloon, you can see a bunch. And if you click on the hot air balloon, you can see how many dinosaurs the riders are going to see. So for this one, they can see 14 dinosaurs. But I think if you put this in an even better place, they could see maybe like 20, 25 and really get their value for money. You can also customize the hot air balloon as well. So with this one, we can have the Jurassic Park aesthetic or the Jurassic World aesthetic, which turns it blue. But I think you can have more skins for this. I've seen various screenshots showing different skins, so you could probably unlock more skins for this and really personalize it to your taste. They do recommend, one of the devs recommended that you don't fly this over small dinosaur enclosures The reason for that is they're harder to see from the air. So you want to put this over the big animals, you know, like the megalodon, the gigantosaurus. That's where you want to get the most value for money out of this hot air balloon. But another really cool thing about this is you can actually fully customize the route. So you don't just put this up and then leave it. You can actually change the route as well and fly this exactly wherever you want. Now, one of the misconceptions about the hot air balloon is that people think it's a transportation, so it's going to contribute to your park's transportation and people can use it to get from one end to the park to the other. But there's actually only one station, and the hot air balloon originates and then returns to this exact same station. So this means it doesn't contribute to your park's transportation rating, so I just wanted to clear that up. But, you know, it's still a ride, it's still a really good ride, and everyone is going to want to put one of these in their park. And it also is a callback to one earlier Jurassic Park game, and this was from 2003, all the way back from then. That was, I don't know if you know it, Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, and that was a similar park builder, but that was the last park builder that had hot air balloons in the game, and this is kind of a reference to that, so I really like that detail. There is one final question before we move on from the hot air balloons, and a lot of people are asking this: what happens when a flying dinosaur escapes? Is it going to go forward, attack the hot air balloon, and maybe pop it? Well, unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to check that, but I'm just going to guess no. I don't think that interaction is going to be in the game. The hot air balloon, the reason I say that is because the balloon itself, it didn't really look like it was physics enabled. It looked kind of like, I couldn't see any ripples in the canvas or anything. So I don't really think they're going to program in a fully dynamic attack where the beak can pierce the canvas and you're going to see a bunch of humans crashing to the ground. I just can't see that happening. Also, there is no loss of life in this game, and obviously if you get a bunch of humans and you drop them from the sky, they're going to lose their lives. So with that said, I don't think there's going to be any flying dinosaur attacks on hot air balloons. They're just going to fly right by it and ignore it. But as I say, that is a guess. Didn't have the chance to check that out myself, but that is one of the first things I'm going to try when I get my hands on the full game. The next new feature we're talking about in this video is the graphics, and as you can see, they look absolutely stunning. Way better than the last game in the series, Jurassic World Evolution 2, even though it's on the same engine. So this is actually on the engine, which is Cobra engine, but the reason they look so good, I asked one of the devs, I said, why does it look so good? They said, one thing, ray traced global illumination. So that just impacts everything, and you can see it for miles through the scenery. The lighting is just on another level. And I really couldn't believe it when I got up into the helicopter. So this is me controlling the helicopter, and oh man, just absolutely beautiful. I love the reflections on the little pools as well, the shadows. Everything looks just so amazing. It's stylized as well. It's not completely realistic, but that style is just, I love the saturation of the colors. Amazing stuff. And also, not to mention when you get up close to the dinosaurs as well. So you can get really close up and you can just see the detail on the skin and the bumpy textures. It looks absolutely crazy. And yeah, a really good looking game. Now, I was playing this on a custom made PC, which was already there for me, and I'm not sure how powerful that was, but it's going to be, that PC was, it had to be really powerful because it had no slowdown. This was max settings. And to be realistic, I don't think I'm going to be able to get this much performance on my computer, or it probably won't look this good on console either. You are seeing the game max settings, ray tracing on, no slowdown. So yeah, this is probably better than it's going to look in the hands of the average player, but still looks absolutely crazy. And yeah, even getting onto the dinosaurs with the fur. Look at the way the fur moves around. Lovely. And I love the details as well. So you see with this dinosaur here, which goes by the name of Tyrannus. Well, I was quite interested in their footprints, and as they were walking around, they were leaving these footprints in the mud. So I zoomed in, and these are fully 3D footprints. These aren't just kind of like stamps that they stamp on the ground, but you can actually see they make them in the mud. And as the sun dries this mud, they kind of harden up and disappear over time as well. So that's just incredible to me. Different kind of textured footprints in different terrain types, and I love that detail. And even just the objects as well, as you get in close to some of the different objects, a crazy amount of detail, like these reflective buggies. I love the reflections and the lighting on these. So this game is just full of jaw-dropping details. A great looking game. The only issue I really saw with it, if I'm being a bit nitpicky, is with the helicopter blades. So as you see the scenery through the helicopter blades, it looked a bit weird. It kind of went a bit grey and colourless. But other than that, I couldn't really fault the graphics at all. So a really good looking game. Probably the best looking game Frontier has made. And they've made quite a few, like the Planet Coaster games. This, for me, outdoes that. Yeah, I'm going to call it the best looking game Frontier has ever made. Onto the story now, and in this demo I played a bit of the campaign and I played a bit of the sandbox, and I'm going to share a few story details with you for those who really love the campaign side of things. Now, for starters, the main man is back, Jeff Goldblum. He returns, so they got Jeff in to reprise his role as Ian Malcolm. And he has quite a big presence in this game as well. I think he recorded even more lines than he did for the first two games, which is really good. And here's an example of what he sounds like in the game. And he comments on things like when you've birthed a new dinosaur or when you've bred some dinosaurs. So here's what he sounds like in the game.
You modified an animal's very genome, implanted that genome into an egg, which you then incubated, and you hatched. And then you release that animal into the world. In one sense, it's miraculous. In another, deeply unsettling.
We also have the return of Cabot Finch as well, so loads of characters that you loved from the previous games are back. I don't think Henry Wu is in there, he's not in there, but yeah, new characters and old characters are back in the game. But what is this game about? Well, it's pretty much like the previous game, so every level has its own story and it's non-linear, so you can choose where to go and then complete the objectives and then move on to a different place. But there are different territories here than the last game. So we have China now, and an example of the objectives in China is China's all about creating a haven for prehistoric giants. So that's the mission in the China region. You have to make massive enclosures for all the hugest dinosaurs in the game. Whereas Nevada, that's got a different objective. And this one in Nevada is all about creating a huge, complex resort, starting from the ground up and just going and just expanding it massively to be really profitable. Other regions include the Montana Badlands, which I didn't get to play on, or Japan. So you can go to Japan and create a theme park there. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play those. But, it's going to be pretty similar to the last one. So you have to juggle your reputation. You've got different industry sectors, all with their own demands. So you have to juggle your responsibilities with those. And there is, of course, the return of those protesters. So sometimes protesters will sabotage your infrastructure. For instance, taking out the electrical grid, and then your fences are going to turn off and then dinosaurs are going to escape. So that's where the chaos comes in. So yeah, pretty much a similar format to the previous game. But for me, I really wanted to know where in the timeline this sits. So does this sit after Rebirth, and is it going to incorporate elements from Jurassic World Rebirth, which was the most recent film, or is it going to be a similar, a different timeline, an alternate universe? Well, I asked this question to the developers, and here's what they said about where this game sits. So I said, does this incorporate any details from Rebirth, or is it a bit too late in the game? Because, of course, Rebirth came out this year. And so does Jurassic World Evolution 3. Well, the developer said to me, quote, "We are in the same universe, but we're set in a different timeline. So we are just after Dominion, and Rebirth is a few years in the future. So while we're not overlapping with Rebirth, we are building to the same events that film explores. Dinosaurs are struggling in the world. You are trying to help them as part of this game. By the time Rebirth begins, the struggling has escalated, but our stories, they're further back in time. And it's all about being a bit more hopeful and more supportive to try and help dinosaurs thrive. End quote. So yeah, to answer the question, this game is set before the Rebirth, but it is building to the same kind of theme. So yeah, you won't see any Scarlett Johansson adjacent characters in this game, but you will see the similar kind of themes. But apart from that, this game does incorporate all of the other Jurassic Park and Jurassic World properties. So, of course, the first 3 movies, also the Netflix animations like Camp Cretaceous. There's going to be little callbacks to this in the game. And I did ask for specifics on Easter eggs, like what kind of Easter eggs are going to be in there. And they're keeping that close to their chest. They're not going to tell any secrets about that. But yeah, if you are a fan of all the Jurassic World properties, including the books, then this is going to contain loads of references to those. What are the dinosaurs in this game? Well, during my playthrough, I made sure to go into the menu and check out every single one. So here is the full list of the dinosaur roster in Jurassic World Evolution 3. We have old favorites like the Dilophosaurus, and we have massive apex predators like the Tyrannosaurus, the Dreadnoughtus as well, which is huge, and we saw that one in Rebirth, the gentle land giant, and they just look absolutely incredible. The Gigantosaurus here we see, and you can also customize them. You can customize their patterns and their skin colorization. Some of them have fur, some of them don't. And yeah, there's a huge number. But how many dinosaurs are in this game? And are there more or less than Jurassic World Evolution 2? Well, good news, there are more dinosaurs in Jurassic World Evolution 3. This game launches with over 80 species in total. Now, I did ask how many specifically are going to be in this game, because over 80 is a bit non-specific, but Frontier, the developers, are going to reveal that at a later date. They're going to reveal the exact number later, but for now it's over 80. So how does that compare with Jurassic World Evolution 2? Well, number 2 launched with 75 species, so we actually get more species for starters in the base game than we did with the last game. Now that is really, really good news. In the end, Jurassic World Evolution 2 featured 122 species, and that's after all the DLC. So we are going to have more dinosaurs coming to Evolution 3 down the line, which is good, and we're just going to have way more. But a few people are a bit worried that the dinosaurs they bought as DLC are going to be sold back to them as DLC in number 3. And that is a valid concern, and that is, I think, what's going to happen. So the dinosaurs you bought in Evolution 2, they're not going to carry across to Evolution 3. Now, that's not been confirmed by Frontier, but I can't really see a way that they're going to transfer dinosaurs over, so they will probably be selling that DLC back to you. Now, as I mentioned before, you can fully customize these dinosaurs, and some of the color schemes can get pretty wild. So with the Indo Rex, the Indominus Rex, you can choose, pink colors, green colors, black colors, white colors as the base skin. And then you can take it even further with the stripy pattern on the back. So you can go red, you can go brown, anything, and just kind of have your fun. It doesn't get too weird, like you're not going to see a camo coloured Indo Rex. You're not going to be able to paint it gold. It does look quite natural, but you can take it to its like reasonable conclusion and have a bit of fun with the way it looks. Not only that though, but you can also customize its genetic traits as well. This is something in the last game, but yeah, I like doing this. It's good to see the system returning. So you can customize the traits to have, more resilient, so it's going to overcome some bad conditions and not just drop at the earliest sign of adversity or cold weather. You can also make it so it's better in fights. You can make its offense better, you can make it have higher defense and better fitness. But there is a new slider, and this is brand new to Jurassic World Evolution 3. This is the fertility slider. So if you knock this all the way up, your dinosaur is going to be able to breed much more easily. A few dinosaurs are going to be not that fertile, so you're going to have to work a bit harder to get them to breed and have babies. But if you want to genetically modify a dinosaur to have insane fertility and just breed all over the place, then you can do that. It will cost you, like the more you customize the genetic traits, then the more money it's going to cost. For instance, this is costing me north of 2 million because I've just genetically modified the hell out of it. But in Sandbox mode, you can turn off all of the requirements, give yourself infinite money, and just create the dinosaurs of your dreams. And another thing that I really like about the dinosaurs in this game, and specifically the dinosaur menu, is that you can hear exactly how to pronounce their names. All you have to do is press Control on keyboard and you can hear the pronunciation.
Velociraptor, Giganotosaurus, Indominus Rex.
As well as that, you can press G and see how they look like at night. So you can change the lighting by pressing G and see how they look like in the day and how they're going to look at night. And this lets you choose the color schemes that are going to look best in different conditions. Let's not forget customization. And of course, this being a park management game, you can customize your parks to your heart's content. One of the ways you can do this, and one of the new ways, is modular building. So rather than just placing a pre-made building down, you can make your own buildings from different building parts. And I believe this is a feature borrowed from Planet Coaster. So I'll give you an example. In one of the buildings that you have to make is the maintenance facility. So you've got a choice here. You can either put down a pre-made maintenance facility, or you can create your own maintenance facility using these different blocks. To do that, all you have to do is hit the custom design button below the 3 pictures of buildings that you see. When you do this, you can create your own maintenance facility and make it look exactly how you want. Now, for me, I had limited time, so I just put a pre-made one down, but it's really good that you can just, the players have their own free reign to create and color their own buildings block by block. As well as that, Frontier has added what it calls groundbreaking terrain editing. And what you can do with the terrain editing is make enclosures that are completely fenceless. So instead of fences, you can shape the environment around it and build enclosures into the actual terrain. So one of the ways you can do that is by having rocks around the enclosure rather than fences. And you can have, like a T-Rex in this kind of canyon type environment. And that's going to make the T-Rex a lot happier. So no more artificial fences. The enclosures can look a lot more natural. And you can use not only rocks, but also steep slopes and kind of carve away at the ground and make the slopes steep, and you can use that to fence the dinosaurs in that way as well. Now, I'm not sure how that's going to work in regards to sabotage, because you can't really sabotage a rocky canyon wall. What the sabotage is going to do, blow up the rock and let the dinosaur escape that way. So I'm not actually sure how the dinosaur is going to escape from these types of enclosures. Didn't really have time to check this during my playthrough, but again, that's on my list of things to check when I finally get this in my hand. And there are other ride types as well. So I've already mentioned the hot air balloon rides, which are really, really cool. There's also the boat tours as well. And you can have boat tours through the herbivore enclosures. So you're not going to have these through the carnivore enclosures because they're just going to get picked off in their boat. But you'll have your herbivores interacting and playing sometimes with the boats in the boat tour. And that's going to let the park guests go through, and sometimes they can in these boats, they can actually paddle their boats themselves. So that's kind of fun. I like that. And there's something I didn't get to see, which is the dinosaur encounters. And these are sort of these petting zoo type experiences. And it's a close-up attraction that lets guests see and touch animals. So that's the dinosaur encounter. And that's something that you're going to want to add for the baby dinosaurs as well. Dinosaur encounter attractions. And with all of these, you can create, upload, and share your creations. Not just on your platform, but you can share cross-platform using the Frontier Workshop. So anything you're particularly happy with, you can go and share that. And that's going to be a great resource. And you can also download from the Frontier Workshop as well. So you can search for the very best creations from the community and then just place them in your game. So there we go. Those were the best features that I encountered during my time with Jurassic World Evolution 3. But what about you? What are you thinking of the game? Let me know down in the comments if you're excited to play Jurassic World Evolution 3. This game launches across all the platforms on the 21st of October 2025. And if you want to see way more footage of this game, because I have loads more to share, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.